So what's going on? Is this some contagious mass hysteria? Or are people really seeing something that our government cannot identify?
What the?
Between 5 to 10 kilometers across that we estimate came from the Oort cloud.
Tell us what it is. Seriously, stop.
Please, don't say 100%.
Can we just call it a potentially significant event?
But it isn't potentially going to happen.
99.78% to be exact.
Oh, great. Okay, so it's not 100%.
Call it 70% and let's move on.
But it's not.
Yeah, nah.
What is up, guys? TYSON DELACRUZ here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Everybody's been looking up in the skies. They've been looking up in the skies, and literally there's been tons of reports happening on the East Coast, specifically in New Jersey. These reports of unidentified drones are popping up all over the country, from rural farmlands to major cities to airports, and no one seems to know who's behind them or what they're actually after. Are they just high-tech pranks, private experiments gone rogue, or something maybe a little bit more concerning? The FAA and the military and even UFO researchers are scratching their head. Guys, I want to warn you, do not worry, do not panic, because these drones are simply delivering food to Chris Christie. Uber Eats and DoorDash were not fast enough, so Chris Christie ordered food on these drones, and they're just simply delivering food to Chris Christie. Shout out to Thomas for that one. But anyways, shout out to everybody watching. Drop your comments down below. We're going to break down the research and the information that I'm seeing regarding these drones. We're going to jump into this clip with Alex Jones really quick to see what he has to say about these drones.
This is an emergency message to Trump on this Friday evening. He just released a statement about 20 minutes ago calling for the Pentagon, calling for the federal government to shoot down these thousands of drones and UAPs, UAVs, UFOs, whatever you want to call them, that are swarming military bases, key installations, airports. It appears to be a drone last night in New Jersey hit a passenger liner in the engine. They tried to cover it with a bird strike. We've seen the video. It looks just like a drone going to the engine. President Trump, when the Pentagon's telling you they don't know about this, when the FBI is saying that, that's BS. Most of the Pentagon's compartmentalized, as you know. Most of the FBI is not involved as well. But at the top, they are operating this out of different reconnaissance agencies within the Pentagon. These are all human craft. You can see that. It's clear. And this is a major psyop, because you probably don't know this. Maybe you do, but there's a lot to know in the government. I've been studying for decades and still don't understand it all. But under COG, Northcom, starting in 2007, doesn't just take over the government in nuclear war or natural disaster. They can do it for UAV invasions or UFO events. I had an expert on today, Wall Street Journal, former reporter, going over all this. So this is being used to ratchet up the civil emergency. It's also a message to Russia about secret weapons. But the idea that, the Pentagon says it's not the Iranians, but they don't know who it is. It's rogue elements of the government creating fear, creating hysteria. Now the FBI is, we need the public's help with this. The military's been ordered not to shoot these down. Anybody else flies over a military base and loiters, they get shot down. That's default federal policy. I know you know all of this, or should know all this, President Trump, but you're being set up 37 days before you get in office for a national emergency. It's all part of the fake virus thing they're pushing again, and the race war thing they're pushing, and the Russia war. This is very serious, sir.
Now, I actually spoke to one of my buddies who was in the military, and I asked him about these particular drones. I said, hey, what is going on? And he said, listen, regardless on what is going on or where they're coming from, he presumably, okay, this is, I'm saying this for the YouTube purposes, presumably, right? They would know where these drones are coming from. And the tweet that, or the Truth Social that Donald Trump had put out, he had said that they know where these things are coming from, and if they don't, they need to be shot down immediately. Now, a military buddy of mine spoke about TTP, TTP is a military acronym called, it's Tactics, Techniques, and Procedures. Now, sometimes individuals will, foreign adversaries or whatever will fly these particular, drones and things like that to see how, to see how our military will react to these particular situations. Now, there was an incident that Mr. Jones had talked about regarding a drone actually flying into an airplane, and they said they're trying to cover it up and say, hey, these are birds. It wasn't a bird. It was clearly a drone based on the replay, and I'll bump back into that video here just to show you that. So this is the image of the right here. Let me zoom in here. So this is the drone actually hitting the aircraft. Let's see if I can get it. Oh, it goes so quick. There it is right there. That's not a bird, okay? That is definitely not a bird right there. That's not a bird. And that's what hits the aircraft. Now, I also want to talk about, readdress this tweet and also truth that Donald Trump had posted. Mysterious drone sighting all over the country. Can this really be happening without our government knowing? I don't think so! Exclamation point. I don't think so! Exclamation point. Let the public know, and now, otherwise shoot them down. Now, I had asked my buddy about this. I said, hey, why don't they shoot them down? Well, what happens is if we shoot them down, this is just coming from my source. If we shoot them down specifically over civilians and in areas, if they get shot down, they could potentially land on a civilian. They could land on a civilian's home. So generally, if they're over rural areas or farmland or areas where nobody presumably could get hurt, that's when they would initiate some type of shoot down. Now, there was a drone that crashed, and now the FBI cannot find it. How pathetic is this, guys? So a drone crashed, and the FBI cannot find this.
A major response from authorities that could be related to an incident involving a drone. It is happening in Hillsborough, New Jersey. Fox 5's Stephanie Bertini is live from that scene. Stephanie, obviously so much frustration about what is even happening in the skies above us, so this might be a big answer.
Yeah, Bianca, I talked to several people who tell us they heard a drone crash somewhere behind where I'm standing. We're working to get that information confirmed with officials. Our chopper has been flying over the area this morning. Here's some video. We're showing you that view from above. We're in a shopping plaza in Hillsborough, just off Route 206. First responders have been here all morning, including Hillsborough police, a lot of onlookers. I talked to one woman who says her concerns are growing, calling all the recent drone activity very bizarre. She says she heard the drone crash happened overnight here, but she says that she's seen several, what she believes are drones anyway, flying around her home. She says she lives not too far from where we're live right now. Now, we've reported on these drone concerns in New Jersey. Some experts have said the sightings could very well be lawfully manned aircrafts. Today, we're hearing from officials on Staten Island about the same topic. Take a listen.
You know, there's a saying that we had after 9/11, if you see something, say something. I think that's become, if you see something, don't worry about it, because we saw it too. And the people of Staten Island deserve answers. The people of this city and state and region deserve answers of what the heck is going on.
So we've heard from the FBI, and the FBI says there's no reason to believe that these recent possible drone sightings pose a national security threat. Now, in terms of what we're getting from local officials, we're being told we're going to get an update this afternoon at some point, Bianca, in terms of what they've been looking at here. Back to you inside.
Now, to say that this isn't a national security threat is kind of ridiculous, because they're flying over LaGuardia, they're flying over all of these areas, and they're doing something. I don't know what they're doing, okay? Alejandro Mayorkas says that there's nothing that they can do about the New Jersey drones because they don't have the authority, and suggests people are just mistaken the drones for drones that people bought at a convenience store. Listen to this crap.
President-elect Donald Trump, he just called on the Biden administration for you guys to either release any information it has about these mysterious drone sightings or shoot the drones out of the sky. How do you respond to the president-elect?
Well, first of all, the statements I've made already are the principal message that I want to communicate to the American public. We haven't seen anything unusual. We know of no threat. Secondly, we have gone to Congress repeatedly asking for more authority to counter drone activity. And we have also asked for more authority to give to the state and local officials under our supervision, because he correctly notes those authorities need to be expanded.
I want to play something another New Jersey congressman, Republican Jeff Van Drew, said about the drones over his state in New Jersey. Listen to this.
We're not being told the truth. They are dealing with the American public like we're stupid. They don't know what it is. They don't know what it's about. They haven't taken one down to analyze it. They have no idea where it comes from, but they know that it's not that. I mean, that's nonsense. They do not know what they're doing. Why don't they take one of them down, analyze it, and let us know what's really happening?
What do you say to the congressman?
Well, first of all, we have experts, and he should not diminish the extent of their expertise and the extent of their dedication to the well-being of the American people. These are individuals who dedicate their careers to the safety and security of the United States of America, number one. Number two, it's not as though anyone can just take down a drone in the sky. That in and of itself would be dangerous.
Do you have the authority to shoot down drones?
Our authorities are very limited. That is precisely why we have gone to Congress to expand those authorities. Our authorities are limited by the United States Coast Guard in the maritime environment, the United States Secret Service in its protection of our national leaders, the U.S. Customs and Border Protection with respect to the border. We have various authorities that are discrete to the particular missions. We can't just shoot a drone out of the sky.
Do you know for sure these are drones or unmanned aircraft? What are they?
We believe that there are cases of mistaken identity where drones are actually small aircraft and people are misidentifying them. There very well may be drones in the sky, of course, but those are commercially available. One can go into a convenience store and buy a small drone. There are also commercial drones as well. But we know of no threat or nefarious activity. And I want to repeat, Wolf, that if we learn of any cause for concern, we will be transparent in our communication of it.
We know this.
You know, I'm not fully trustworthy of Alejandro Mayorkas, okay? I understand his concept that, you know, and according to my sources, you can't just shoot these things down if they're not necessarily posing a threat, or if they're on, you know, if they're in these areas where civilians are. So I give him that. But for him not to know exactly where these are coming from seems kind of suspect. And for him to say, hey, we're doing everything that we can in order to mitigate this issue, is this the same type of doing everything that you can that you did with the border and the border security? Just posing a question here.
Some of these drones, whether in the Middle East or Ukraine, have weapons, have missiles attached to these drones. Wouldn't it be smart to at least get a look at these drones to see if they are armed?
Wolf, there is no question that technology has advanced in the realm of drones. They can fly farther, they can fly faster, they can carry heavier payloads. Our authorities need to keep up with the technological advances. The chairman of the Homeland Security Committee in the House of Representatives, Mark Green, has argued for and advocated for that expansion of authorities.
That's ridiculous to me because they have a crazy budget. And we saw the complete meltdown of even the Butler situation where they didn't even have a drone, okay? So they're probably still using Windows 97. Windows 97, then they're still probably paper filing everything. They do need to catch up, and it needs to happen quick. Because, like, what is going on? What is actually going on? This is interesting. This is a comment from the news briefing stating that these drones do not pose a national security threat. Listen to this.
We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or a public safety threat, or have a foreign nexus. The Department of Homeland Security and the FBI are investigating these sightings, and they're working closely with state and local law enforcement to provide resources using
two things that I don't trust right now. The FBI, right?
State and local law enforcement to provide resources using sightings, and they're working closely with the Department of Homeland Security.
Sorry, I only gave you one. The Department of Homeland Security and the FBI. Two things that I don't trust right now.
And the FBI are investigating these sightings, and they're working closely with state and local law enforcement to provide resources using numerous detection methods to better understand their origin. Using very sophisticated electronic detection technologies provided by federal authorities, we have not been able to, and neither have state or local law enforcement authorities, corroborate any of the reported visual sightings. To the contrary, upon review of available imagery, it appears that many of the reported sightings are actually manned aircraft that are being operated lawfully.
I don't think that that is the case. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. I don't think that they're being used lawfully. This is just my personal opinion, because these sightings have been going on for months, and now there's more. Okay, I dove into Project Bluebeam. We're going to jump into that just a little bit. Here is Dr. Stephen Greer about Project Bluebeam.
Well, some backstory on that. These all began some months ago after a team of high-level black site defectors decided that they would come forward between now and in early January with all the evidence and information from 6 different black sites that have been involved in shooting down the ET craft, the reverse engineering of them, the ET bodies, and the man-made, what they call ATs, which is advanced technology, which are the man-made UFOs, which are most of what people see. Now, of course, the covert transnational corrupt organization running covert UAP programs knows this. And of course, they can monitor everything with or without an encrypted block. And they are now launching what we had predicted in the late 1990s, and that is a series of diversionary false flag events to confuse the public and the politicians and the Pentagon as to what these UAPs are. So the whole launch of the drones that you're seeing in the United Kingdom, those started after I got back to the United Kingdom, providing briefings to the senior leadership of that country about this emerging disclosure that will be the biggest event in modern human history. Frankly, the people coming forward are not secondhand or even minor firsthand. These are operators assigned to special forces who have now risen up to a senior position at these key black sites, and they will be unmasked. They will be named. They will have the evidence. They will have the proof. And that's all happening in the next 30 days or so. I am telling you this because it is imminent. It's why I've been on a tour all over the world, meeting with senior officials in the U.S. government, the incoming administration, the current leaders in the House and the Senate. In fact, I just got back from Washington last night. So that is what is happening. The drones are a predictable launch of a diversionary and a confusing event. They're certainly not extraterrestrial or NHI. The pop culture now is non-human intelligence term, NHI craft. It's clear that they're able to have assets that are ground-based or in STIFs subterranean facilities, or what some people call DUMBs, deep underground military bases, where they can launch these sort of objects and create all kinds of confusion and alarm and panic.
I'm going to jump into this clip of Mr. Greer speaking more fluidly in an interview regarding Project Blue Beam. This might be going down a rabbit hole, but I'm just sharing what I was. I'm just sharing. I'm sharing. Okay. Here's the thing: if they don't know what these are, they need to be shot down. At the end of the day, if they do know what they are, and people, covert government entities know what they are they doing it to scare the public? Who knows? Who knows?
Project Blue Beam. Mm-hmm. Can you describe what that is?
Well, that's another subculture term that's been attached to a series of projects that involve what the Pentagon, what they call a deceptive indication and warning, or a false INW, which is a false flag. And it's the ability to stage, through very advanced technologies, an alien attack or an alien event. And it's a whole series of them. Now, what most people don't know about, since late 50s, early 60s, like the Barney Hill case and all that, those were all...
The Barney Hill case, by the way, was presumably an abduction, right? Through some type of extraterrestrials. This is just what I read, presumably, for the YouTubes.
All human assets abducting innocent people made to look alien. And so that psychological warfare was authorized in 1953, 54. 1954, we mastered gravity control. So we started deploying these assets to begin to condition the public that there's a scary threat from outer space. Mm-hmm. I mean, look at Hollywood, Alien, Ridley Scott's, the movies. If you want to see a script for what's coming fairly soon, look at the movie Independence Day. Okay. It's right at a central casting for this covert group. So what their whole purpose is to create sort of a global militarized totalitarian superstate of the world fighting another world. It's like War of the Worlds.
Hi, Elizabeth. Well, I got to be honest here. When this story first came out a few weeks ago, as a resident of New Jersey, as a journalist, I didn't pay it much credence. I thought it would turn out to be a bunch of pranksters and this would all be over by now. The experience I had last night, however, changed the way I feel about this story completely. If you look real close, they look like fixed-wing aircraft, about 8 to 10 feet wide, colorful, white blinking lights.
That is not a plane.
Definitely not an airplane, but what was it? Hours earlier, I was invited to join the Ocean County Sheriff Department. They launched their own drones to see if they could intercept the mysterious aircraft New Jersey residents have been reporting in recent weeks. The department says these mystery drones evade detection because they don't give off heat like regular drones. Why do you think that is?
We don't know. It's just something that we haven't, it's not something that we've had our hands on. It's not something that we've experienced.
Something they hadn't experienced until now. One of their officers called 911 after seeing 50 of them come off the ocean.
Advised after we made contact with that officer that there were 50 that came off the ocean.
50?
50. That was my reaction also. There were 50 that were coming off the ocean.
And this is a sworn officer?
A sworn officer, yes. We contacted state police, we contacted the FBI, we contacted the Coast Guard, at which point the Coast Guard went out with their boat and they reported seeing 13 following their boat. And then the Coast Guard also advised that they went over them about 300 feet and had a wingspan of about 8 feet.
Yeah, I'm going to continue to follow this story too. I'll keep you guys updated on what's going on, but I'd love to know your guys' thoughts on this. Me personally, like I said, if a drone was flying into the window, peeping Tom kind of dealio, I'm shooting that sucker down. I'm shooting it down, and then I'm asking for forgiveness later. That's just me. That's just me. I understand in regards to the government, they have different rules and regulations, and they can't do particular things based on the conversation that I had with a military associate that, they can't openly shoot these things down in civilian areas. I get that, but I'm sure that I'm sure that they've been able to trace these things somewhere, somehow, some way. And for them to say that they don't know where they're coming from, I think that they're just trying to protect the public, if you would, to cover up stuff, to gaslight us continuously. That's just my personal thoughts on that. And that had me diving down Project Bluebeam. Let me know your guys' thoughts about that as well. Drop it in the comment section down below. Smash a like button, share, subscribe. And as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.